What
do you want to do?
I don't know. We suck and we don't have an intro. Welcome everybody to the Glacier Gamble. This is episode 37, entertainment section. Glacier Gamble. And we got some good stuff for you today. So we got some Marvel discussion like we always do. Fun castings, some, all those fun newses with Kraven and Morbius. And then we actually have some news about the Marvel Netflix shows, other discussion. We mentioned Wolverine last week, DC news with the Batman. And then we have miscellaneous news. We got Beyblade, Digimon, American Idol, Beetlejuice, Pokemon. We got and white men apparently can't jump again. So we got some good stuff. Marvel we'll start with. First thing, they apparently are going to make a Yelena, Belova, and Kate Bishop show. I wasn't even going to talk about this because my initial response was duh.
Yeah, we already talked about this too in one of the previous ones, I believe. They wanted to do like a Black Widow 2 possibly with Yelena.
Yeah.
Kate. Yeah, no, it's obvious. They have amazing chemistry together and they're funny.
So I thought duh. So I figured we could give that a quick hit. Like that came out, it was like considered breaking news that it was announced. It was like, nah.
We've already been talking about it for a month.
Netflix though is Morbius. The second trailer, the final trailer actually dropped. Just over 2 minutes. Super good. I watched it. It was pretty exciting. There was some stuff I paused and like tried to figure out, did some research on. Couldn't really find anything. Like there was the Wyland Hotel. It was one that was the in the trailer. They like he slams into it. And they like pause on it for a weirdly long amount of time. I was like, they're trying to tell me to look this up, and it was the only one I could find was there's one in Colorado, and it's the only one.
Okay.
And I was like, is there some sort of connection in Colorado? Is it supposed to be a shout out? Like, what's it going to be? But yeah, I couldn't find anything there. We got to see a lot more of Michael Keaton in this one.
Yeah. I don't know how it's all going to work together though. So that's one reason I'm excited to see it. I'm just interesting to see how Michael Keaton is he our Michael Keaton? Is it Adrian Toomes from the MCU? Is it Adrian Toomes from Morbius's world? Is it Andrew's world? Is it Toby's world?
And then it kind of gives away the fact that everybody is telling him to become a villain and he doesn't want to be one.
Yeah.
That he views drinking blood and like his curse that he created as a villain, but that he doesn't want to be one.
Right.
So that the whole movie is going to be about figuring out how he can use his curse as a positive way.
Yeah, right.
Because the guys that he's fighting in the trailer look like traditional bad guy thugs with their guns, and so I would assume he's going to be an anti-hero or good guy.
Yeah.
But then they also have him talking to Toomes a lot.
I don't know what to expect. We're just gonna have to watch it and find out. I mean,
there's a little bit of humor in it.
Yeah. The very first one they did where I was like, I am Venom. So I mean, I don't know what world it's in. Venom's world now?
And if it's Venom, that means it's probably Andrew Garfield. But Andrew Garfield came out saying he's not going to be Spider-Man again.
But then I saw another thing that I don't know if it's true, but apparently he signed on for like 2 more projects. He wants one of them to either be a solo one or a Andrew Garfield versus.
Okay.
So I don't know. I just saw it today. I don't know if there's any validity to it. It's just a minor thing I saw. But.
Well, it's kind of connected with Morbius if they're supposed to be in the same world. So
right.
I thought the trailer was awesome, and the fact that it's a final trailer, I think it didn't give away too much, but it gave us a lot of information that we can go off of. I think it filled the tease that people that it scratched the itch that all these people for Thor are really feeling.
Yeah. But speaking of Thor, we should be getting a trailer for that soon. It's getting pretty close.
4 months away.
Yeah, it's within like 130 days. Pretty crazy. The first Spider-Man one was like 137 days, and now we're at like 120 something.
I'm fine with waiting. Yeah. I've said it before. The more mystery, the better. I would love to see
Gore. I want to see what Gore looks like.
But imagine the first time you see Gore is in theater. Like imagine how cool that would feel.
Yeah. If I just saw so my best tease, because it looks like he's in like a robe. Just see like the necro sword like scraping on the ground like as he's walking. That's all I need.
From what I've seen, it depends on what they're gonna do, what version of the necro sword. Because the necro sword looks a lot like Thanos's blade. Like it's a dual blade. In the comics, it looks like it has like the handle in the middle and then a long blade on one end and a long blade on the other. So I'm not sure if they're going to run it that way or if they're going to run it the like a traditional
So
blade
yeah, there's like
style.
what it looks, that top part, it looks like Thanos' blade, right?
Yeah.
Like that little blade. But then there's something like this, where like it's coming out, it's symbiotic. Like
Right, that's what I mean. Like, or because it's a symbiote, it could easily be however they want it to look.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm fine. Leave us in the dark. I'm okay with that. We already said the Andrew Garfield thing, so let's bring that up. Andrew Garfield said Toby is not the
yeah,
one.
because Tom Holland says that one of them was wearing a fake butt.
Right.
And then Andrew said that it wasn't Toby because he's got back.
So Toby doesn't have the fake cake.
Yeah.
That means so is Andrew admitting that he's the one with the fake cake?
I think so.
Flat ass brothers got to stick together, you know. I have no ass, so I feel for Andrew there. If he's the one without, if he had to do the padding, he had to create his own cushion for his pushing
to compete with the other two.
Right, especially because I mean,
Marvel.
We've all seen the screenshot of Tobey Maguire on the floor in his wrestling costume. Have you seen that one?
No.
Yeah, in the first Spider-Man movie when he's dressed up against Bonesaw, he's on the ground because he just got like knocked down. Just a mound there, and people, because that's why when the news came out, people were like, "Oh, it's Andrew," because look at this, and it was all like Toby's ass,
America's ass.
That is, yeah. I mean, that was North America's ass. Like that was all of North America's ass. Yeah, he put some people to shame there. Next thing we can bring up, let's do the Kraven quick news. Ariana Debose, who's from the West Side Story, I believe. Debose. Sure. She was cast as Calypso, so Calypso will be in Kraven. So that means Chameleon is now in Kraven.
Right.
Kraven is now in Kraven. Calypso. No. Calypso is in Kraven. Yeah, that's
whoever Russell Crowe's playing,
right? Which could be Zeus, could be something completely different.
Yeah, it could be different because I mean they're taking Aaron Taylor Johnson and making him different.
We'll find out, but yeah, then Russell Crowe, whoever he's playing. So it sounds like the cast is really making looking good.
Yeah.
Especially because the news came out that Kraven is not supposed to be portrayed as an anti-hero, and that the future that they plan for Kraven is that they plan to make him part of the Sinister Six. So
I want to say I saw something about Adrian Toomes' Vulture trying to make a Sinister Six. So he's going around asking people, trying to get people interested into a Sinister Six. If it is our Adrian Toomes that's in the Morbius project, Morbius would be one of the first people he's trying to get.
So he might not necessarily be successful in every movie he's in.
Yeah.
So he's like Nick Fury.
I would imagine he has Scorpion.
Okay.
Mac Gargan. I would imagine he's got Mac Gargan from that post-credit scene and that first movie. Could have Shocker. I don't know. I don't know if he's Shocker. I would imagine he has Scorpion.
So then he'll try to potentially get Madam Web, Kraven.
Try to get Morbius. I don't think that will work.
Venom.
Try to get Venom. Don't think that will work.
A less successful Kraven. Nick Fury in every credit scene.
Yeah, maybe that's how they're gonna try to do it.
That'd be interesting. All these, we were wondering why they were doing all these solo films, villain films. Maybe it's because they're just planning on making Michael Keaton show up in everyone, recruiting people into the Sinister Six. Let's do it. Marvel Netflix shows, they are coming to Disney Plus on March 16th. They will also be adding parental controls due to the mature content, which paves way for R-rated content.
So a lot of people are saying, oh, this is for Deadpool. This is for Deadpool. And I was like, yeah.
Yep, that was my first thought, was Deadpool 3.
Deadpool. If you've seen The Punisher, the Punisher is more brutal than Deadpool. Just any Punisher.
Well, the glass one where he shoves the guy.
Glass one, yep. That guy actually tweeted, Ben Barnes is his name. He's in Shadow and Bone. Yeah, he tweeted, he's like, all right, hooray, or whatever. And even Deborah Ann Wolf, who plays Karen Page from all the series, he was like, yay. And then Vincent D'Onofrio was like, yay. So they were all tweeting at it.
Yeah. Almost as if there's something going to be happening.
Yeah, they're all excited for it. And then I believe Charlie Cox says that it's good that they're doing this because he believes Daredevil is better suited for like R-rated content.
It is. Yeah, he is. All the Defenders in general would be better as I mean, most comic books, if you want to be brutal like they were in the comics, would be good R-rated.
Yeah.
Like that's what kind of makes all comic books cool is you have like brightly colored stuff, but with like comic books you have that sort of thing, and then you have murder. Like you have Wolverine going inside of Hulk after he eats him, and then tearing Hulk out from the inside. Having
the Blob eat a dead wasp and saying it tastes like chicken. So.
Yeah, the comics are brutal. So like that's R-rated content, and yet they're colorful uniforms, and that's what makes comic books so interesting. So I am totally fine with Disney being associated with some R-rated content if that means getting to see Daredevil truly beat the crap out of somebody, Punisher truly get to be a Punisher,
Moon Knight destroying people. Like he says he's put his whole self into.
He called it his baby.
Yeah, there's a bunch of. I mean, there was a quick like rumor that Punisher might appear in Moon Knight, which makes sense. They have passed, but there's this one shot in the comics where Frank Castle's right next to Mark Spector, and they're both in costume or whatever. And Frank Castle goes, "Hey, how's your fake god?" And Mark Spector goes, "How's your dead family?" So so like brutal, but they're still funny. They're just the brutal people that do the right thing the wrong way.
Well, I mean, it seems like they are. It sounds like they're trying to bring people in, revamp them. And we brought up, or we have it down here. Christian Ritter was seen on Instagram with bluish black hair and a leather jacket.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what the Instagram post said. It obviously probably didn't have anything Jessica Jones related. Maybe she just posted a picture of herself smiling,
feeling
with
nostalgic,
blue hair, with the blackish blue hair and just the leather vest. Oh, I'm just decided to wear this today right after the announcement of.
Just happened to. Yeah. Just a coincidence.
Probably the second best portrayed character on there. Like
looks wise, she's probably one of the most accurate looking to the comic book character that I've ever seen in like any Marvel movie or show.
For sure. Yeah.
Like,
she just looks like Jessica Jones.
She just looks like her. She could be terrible and be like, nope, that's Jessica Jones.
Yeah,
just look just like her. It's creepy
absolutely.
How much she looks.
And she's got the like sass and like the no bullshit kind of Jessica Jones vibe. Hopefully we see her in She-Hulk as a private investigator for a Jennifer Walters.
I think they're gonna want to move forward with She-Hulk. So I think we're gonna see a lot of stuff in She-Hulk. I think She-Hulk's gonna be a character they want to move like big plans for.
Yeah, big shoes to fill.
Well, massive shoes to fill. Actually, like just huge green shoes. Yeah. So
everyone's like, oh, all right, they're moving Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, the Defenders, and Punisher over. And everyone's like, but Iron Fist sucks. And I was like, yeah, okay, Iron Fist does suck. Iron Fist was bad, right?
Yeah.
We can admit that. The second season was better than the first season, but that's because the first season was made by the same dude that made Marvel's Inhumans, which is never talked about ever. Nobody pays attention to the comics right now. And in February last month, they released a new run of Iron Fist comics where a character by the name of Lin Lee, who is known as the Swordmaster, he trained under Shang-Chi, and then eventually he got the Iron Fist from Danny Rand. He's like passed down to him as his like protege. So they do not have to redo Iron Fist.
Just say it's Lin Lee instead of Danny Rand.
Lin Lee now, Danny Rand instead of Danny Rand. And actually, Finn Jones played a really good Danny Rand. It's just he did not play a really good Iron Fist. So,
almost as if he refused to do choreography and training.
Or trainer at all.
Yeah.
So, but he played a good Danny Rand.
So he's a good actor who just doesn't want to put in the work, basically.
Yeah. So I mean,
you kind of did answer this for me, but like when I was looking up research on this, because I agree with you, like Iron Fist wasn't the worst thing. Like it's not as bad as people say it is. Like it wasn't great.
And Humans.
Right. It's not bad. Not the New Mutants, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Good one. That's a good one too. Not Dark Phoenix, but I mean.
Right. It's not Black Widow. It's
it's not Thor: The Dark World. Listen, like it's not Fan 4 Stick. Come on.
Right. It's like it's really not really on those levels of badness. It's not a great. It's not. It's like it's the opposite of that whole like just because something is said is really good can mean it could be really good, but if you say it's it's overrated, it's underrated. Like we're not saying it's good, but we're also not saying it's the worst Marvel product ever put out because that would be underrating.
Yeah, and you're comparing it with Daredevil.
Yeah,
right. You're comparing it with Daredevil. You're comparing it with Jessica Jones. All these projects that came first.
They're also comparing it to Iron Man. They're comparing it to Avengers. They're comparing it to Loki. They're comparing it to the best as opposed to just accepting it as is.
Right. And if you get all of these characters in the MCU, what can Feige do with them? The Netflix Daredevil was the Netflix Daredevil, all those Netflix Marvel things were not produced by Disney. They're just like, we're going to give you the rights to make some film, make some shows. Good luck.
Have at it.
Yeah.
See if you can be successful with it.
Yeah, and they did well, and then Marvel's like, you know what, shit, we want them back now.
We want most of them back.
Yeah.
But so I was doing some research on it. You and I were talking, and people were actually like talking about it on Twitter, talking about Iron Fist. And Lin Lee, it might just be the art style, but like when I hear the name, doesn't sound like, it sounds like an Asian name.
Yeah.
But when I looked at the art style, looked at him, I was like, Swordmaster, okay, yep, that's the right guy. It looks like a white guy. And I was like, that doesn't seem right. Like, I thought he was supposed to be an Asian guy.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. It's hard to tell. Place of birth, Shanghai, China.
Right, yeah.
Citizenship, Chinese.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know.
He looks... I think that they have to cast an Asian guy to play Lin Lee.
Yeah, I mean, you bring him in through...
But the reason I asked was the art style.
You bring him in through Shang-Chi's world.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
So that's what we said. That's what we said.
We said that from the beginning.
Yeah, you bring him in through Shang-Chi's world. So.
Yeah. Have Shang-Chi True introduce it.
He can punch one of those rings right out of the sky, and Shang-Chi would be like, what the hell? Like,
right. Now you could have him team up with Shang-Chi and Shang-Chi 2.
Have him kick Shang-Chi's ass, and then have Shang-Chi go to him and be like, there's a bigger threat. We need to defeat it together.
Right, you could have him not understand who he's fighting, similar to like the Luke Cage thing.
Yeah.
Where he fights Luke Cage.
What's up with your fist? And then
he launches Luke Cage.
Yeah. Iron Fist is like doing his martial arts, trying to like punch him and stuff. Nothing's happening. He's like, what are you doing? And then he's like, it's like,
yeah. You could easily do something where he's just easily blocking him with the rings, and all of a sudden maybe he's fighting him with a sword, and then he gets the sword out of his hand, and then instead of fight, he's like, now that he doesn't have the sword, Shang-Chi lets his guard down because he thinks he doesn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Charges up the fist. Yeah. Could definitely do something like that.
Especially if you want to get into like the dragon lore.
Yeah.
You got Shao Lao, you have the Ancient Protector, you've got Fin Fang Foom, I assume coming up sometime. So
I would assume so.
Yeah.
Those are pretty big names to not do, especially with technology now able to portray them well.
Yeah. The fact that people are freaking out, like, don't bring Iron Fist back. It's like, there's a new Iron Fist. People.
Yeah, bring Iron Fist back, just do it the right way and bring him in with Shang-Chi. Just like bring Shang-Chi into the MCU, preferably through Spider-Man if you can, but sounds like he's going to be through, I would say, Secret Invasion or something along those lines, considering Shang-Chi, because he was with Miss Marvel and Hulk and Wong.
Captain Marvel, because Miss Marvel's got the same things as he does.
Yeah, so they had to change that up quick. Just real quick for like 8 months.
Just real quick. Yeah.
Real quick.
It's releasing in 2021, people.
It was supposed to. It was supposed to release before Christmas. That's all we got for the Netflix shows. We had a lot to say there because, you know, we like those shows. Joe's one of my favorite people is his Iron Fist. Yeah. It's also, you got some Iron Fist comics as well. Yeah, so we wanted to talk about that, and I hope they bring them all back. Just do it the right way. And I do think it is also to pave the way with Deadpool 3.
Yeah.
Then here's another one that you added to our list to talk about. Marvel is thinking about a Man-Thing Halloween. So they're already doing a Werewolf by Night Halloween special. Yeah. Now they're thinking of doing a Man-Thing as well.
A Man-Thing. But I believe Man-Thing was one of the busts on the tower in Sakaar. But yeah.
Well, Man-Things and busting are very common in my life.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Man-Thing's creepy.
Yeah.
He's based off like Swamp Thing. I believe like DC's equivalent to Swamp Thing.
Marvel doesn't do that.
Yeah. Slade Wilson. Yeah, but I mean, I'm for it. The more characters you get in, the more story you tell. Maybe Man-Thing could pave the way for Beta Ray Bill if it eventually does take place on Sakaar.
The nice thing about the Halloween specials is, so we have that Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special.
Yeah.
And that is supposed to be canon and part of the story. Yeah. So because a lot of time people are going to hear Halloween special and think, oh, that's just a one-time thing. It's going to be its own thing. There's a good chance that Werewolf by Night and Man-Thing become regular parts of the universe.
Yeah.
So just because they're just a one-time special, it just means they're probably going to be a 1-episode special as opposed to like a 6 to 8 episode series, a standalone movie. It's just a shorter special, something like that.
Yeah.
I like Man-Thing. I think he's creepy.
Yeah, he's
and
weird looking.
Good
so,
fit for Halloween.
Yeah, exactly. So if they want to do, maybe they're thinking about doing like a small run, kind of like What If, but maybe it's just a couple episodes of like these weird little stories. Halloween specials. You got a Werewolf by Night thing, which introduces werewolves, maybe Dracula or something like that. You got Man-Thing, which could blend like supernatural things going on. Maybe even him fighting Beta Ray Bill and Sakaar. Like I don't know.
I mean, we can definitely talk about that more as it gets closer. We're a few months out, but
Yeah.
we'll hear more as that comes closer. Yeah, so we said we were going to talk about some, let's do the kid Loki stuff. So Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things was hired on for Marvel, been cast in an undisclosed role. He's 19 years old. I thought they would move forward with just that kid Loki.
The other guy, yeah. I mean, I don't know. He's young. He's a hot commodity. He's young. He's on heroin. No, he's one of those younger guys that are kind of taking over Hollywood. Like they're in a lot of projects. I believe he was in Ghostbusters, the new Ghostbusters. Maybe he's got chemistry with Paul Rudd, I'm sure. The more talent in Marvel, the better for me. So
yeah, I think I could see young Loki. I could see moving forward with some sort of young Avengers. And then based on he's one of those guys that he has very strong features, like strong cheekbones, strong chin. Like his features are very strong. So a lot of the time in those cases, those people tend to fit really well with the heavy makeup or the CGI roles.
Yeah, sure.
So could also be something like that. Like Cody Smith-McPhee when he was Nightcrawler, it was going to be Chameleon. I could easily see Finn being, just based on his looks, could easily be one of the CGI heavy makeup characters. Another character that we thought, though, finally jump into that the Multiverse of Madness news. We talked about Taron Egerton potentially being cast as Wolverine. He was with the big rumor.
He's looking yoked.
He just said, I would love to play Wolverine and work for the MCU and Marvel. And he mentioned that that's the role he would want. He would love to visit that role. He believes he could do it justice. And then he said, I just want to work in Marvel with the great actors and directors that have been there. I think we can probably say it now. Taron Egerton's going to be the MCU's Wolverine.
Yeah, let's hope so. Yeah.
My fingers are crossed. I love Taron. I think he's so talented. I could gush about how much I like him. The other Multiverse of Madness news is Funko Pops. So the Legos for Thor: Love and Thunder, they revealed potentially that Necro All Black was going to be in it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And wielded by Gore as he fights Jane Foster. And that people are like, okay.
Because he already killed Thor.
Exactly. Yeah. Toy, that's like a toy leak. This has happened before. Yeah. Toy comes out before the movie teaser or anything comes out, and toys leak it. Funko Pops released a new line of Multiverse of Madness Pops, and they released a variant of Doctor Strange that had not been shown yet, where he's wearing blue. So it seems like there's going to be a fourth variant, which, that was always in the, they said that they're diving really hardcore into the multiverse, so they could always go to a crazy amount of places.
Right.
But the more multiverses they open for Doctor Strange, the more throwaway stuff. The more Doctor Stranges like this that they reveal makes it feel like, okay, maybe they do bring in an animated multiverse or universe. Maybe they do bring in some of the weird fan casts, kill those off as if, we're just going to reference this person quick. They're going to be on they're not even going to get a line, and then they're gone. It opens up for a lot of those, which opens up for the chance, like we talked about last week, of there to be too much, of there to be you're going to overwhelm with useless people. Maybe this is their way of keeping it feeling like a Doctor Strange movie by making sure there's a Doctor Strange for every universe that they go to. It's starting to get to that please don't do too much sort of thing. And this Funko Pop showed. The other news was, speaking with Multiverse of Madness, Elizabeth Olsen came out that she had signed a 7-year contract, and I tweeted immediately saying this isn't real. Marvel said they're no longer doing annual contracts. They're not doing the yearly, there's by movies or one at a time, just because it's at least unhealthy. And they also did it to protect themselves in case of, Johnny Depp, for example, they don't want to work with, but in situations like that where they have something off screen that they don't agree with, they don't have to sign them again, or they can replace them. So they did it also for that. But then it came out that Elizabeth Olsen was signed on for 7 years, and I immediately said, that's not real. And then I saw another source posted that was more reliable. That was an entertainment network that posted it. And I was like, okay, I'll delete my tweet. I guess I was wrong. And then I looked more into it, and I was like, I don't believe it. And I was looking more into it. There is no sign anywhere that
Right.
Elizabeth Olsen has signed the contract. So I thought I was wrong, but I believe I was right that Elizabeth
Right.
Olsen was not signed to 7 years. Like, that'd be great if she
Right.
was.
When Marvel said they were going away with the movie contracts or appearance contracts, they wanted to say that like if we want to find people that want to do this for a long period of time, and then
Yeah.
if they want to do this for a long period of time, they're gonna want to make the movies anyway. I think she is one of those characters or one of those people that want to do the whole thing.
Do the damn thing.
There was an interview back in the day where it was Aaron Taylor Johnson and her, and they were like, what would you want to experience like with Wanda like going forward? And then she's like, oh no, it doesn't matter or whatever. And they're like, no, tell us, like, what would you want to do? And then she's like, well, my favorite thing is like House of M. Like I couldn't imagine if them like doing like giving her kids and then taking them away. And then she's like, but they wouldn't do that. Like they wouldn't do that, right? And then here we are. Like here we are.
So she's definitely one of those people that wants to do it, and Marvel wants to keep her long term. When I saw the news story, I was like, they want her long term, but they're not going to sign those contracts anymore. It's exciting news, and the reason it got big is because it's believable.
Yeah, and
that's all good news in itself.
I don't think it ever was the year. It was never the years that Marvel did those contracts.
It was the
like
movies. Like, you have to appear in at least 10 movies. Like, I believe, who's the guy that plays Bucky? What's his name? Sebastian Stan. I believe his first, when he signed on to Captain America, was like 10 movies.
Yeah, it was like 10.
He didn't know how big those roles were going to be at the time. He didn't know if he was going to get a solo. Like, he didn't know anything like that. He didn't know if it was going to turn into the series.
Yeah, so I'm sure Marvel still approaches their actors and we're like, hey, we plan on doing like your lineage is going to be like at least these 3 projects for right now. Like, do you want to do these 3 projects? And they're like, yeah, sure. Then they'll probably sign them to those 3 projects as they agree to them. But
the less they sign on for, the more money probably in the end the actor gets.
Yeah.
So actors most of the time probably just want the one project thing, but I'm sure a lot of the younger actors, especially the ones where this is their first big role, are all for like, yep, 3 projects. That means I'm guaranteed 3 movies. Yeah. Like, I'm sure a lot of them want to sign on. Similar like rookie contracts in sports.
Yeah.
They're much more willing to take the longer term deals, while veterans want to do 1 year at a time because it maximizes their worth. I think actors probably similar now, which Disney's fine with because they make enough money.
Yeah.
But speaking of Marvel, Disney, that's it. That's all we got. Let's jump into our DC news. Matt Reeves said that he would most likely not want to work for Marvel. He said he would rather start with something that's less established. Going in there with all those things already set would be difficult for him. So you tweeted out, maybe you and Zack Snyder should work together and do a DC movie.
Yeah, DC, maybe like create a DC extended universe with like put your minds together and do something like that. I feel like that'd be really good.
Yeah, like a Favreau Feige-esque.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like Snyder's like oversees the whole thing, and then like you're like the storytelling. You
become the executive producer on a lot, director a lot. Yeah,
I feel like that'd be a good idea.
I think it'd be
really
good. I don't think that'll happen because DC's doesn't allow Zack Snyder to show up.
Yeah,
Zack Snyder has a restraining order on. It can't come within 5,000 miles of.
So we talked about Peacemaker a couple pods ago, and how they had a Superman, Wonder Woman, and then they had Aquaman and Barry Allen, Aquaman and Flash. It was revealed shortly, like a week after that they had plans for a Batman and a Cyborg, like in the shadows. So like just Aquaman and Flash were talking to each other, right? They were the only ones in the frame. But the other 2 were like silhouettes.
Yeah,
the 2 were silhouettes, but they were gonna have a Batman and a Cyborg as well. Those 2 people took like pictures or whatever, or the guy playing Batman was like in his costume, and he took a picture of Instagram. And he's like, "Well, I was supposed to make an appearance as Batman or whatever, like
in Peacemaker,
stunt double, the stunt double person playing
the body double."
Was like, I was supposed to, but I guess I didn't make the cut. Only Warner Brothers and James Gunn know why. And I was like, well, they don't want to put in Zack Snyder's Ben Affleck's Batman. They don't want to put in Ray Fisher's Cyborg.
And they were the only 2 because Wonder Woman was in it.
Yep. Superman floated down,
and everybody was gushing about the Wonder Woman, talking about how they loved her, like looks wise.
You couldn't see her, but like when she
on Instagram. Well, speaking of the Batman, he doesn't want to show the Zack Snyder's Batman. Pattinson Batman, however.
Yeah. So I want since the Joker is set in a different universe than the DCEU, the Batman is set in a different universe than the DCEU. The timetable on these two movies, can match up. Arthur Fleck is like 50 something. He sees Bruce Wayne when he's 8. I think he inspired a whole generation of like this Joker mob, like not trust Gotham, not trust the Waynes. And so I think he could inspire a younger person to
become a new Joker.
So
Joaquin Phoenix's Joker would pass down to like Barry Keoghan, and then Barry Keoghan would be Robert Pattinson's Joker, and that would be their universe starting.
And I think that'd be a great idea. I don't think you necessarily have to it'd be cool to tie it to Joker, and I know they are making a Joker 2, so maybe a Joker 2 would most likely come out before the Batman 2, and then you could kind of tie this whole little world together.
So would you make that part of the DCEU, or would you make that the start of the
I would make that a start of a fresh DC universe, because I don't want it. Do I think Shazam was good? Yes. Do I think first Wonder Woman was good? Yes. Do I think Aquaman was good? Yes.
Peacemaker.
I think Black Adam's gonna be good? Yes. James Gunn's Suicide Squad? Yes. But there's too many holes in everything else.
There's not enough consistency now, that's what they're planning on doing with the Flash, is resetting it all.
Everything.
So maybe they reset it all, and then Pattinson and Flash are the only one alive.
That's
left.
what I would like. That's what I would like.
Yeah,
I agree. Black Adam, Black Adam.
Then, everything from here on out. Black Adam, Shazam, maybe even a Shazam makes his way.
Batman. I mean, Shazam referenced Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman.
DC's just messed it up so bad.
It's just so bad. It is so bad. It's like Days of Future Past bad.
That makes me sad. Because there's characters you like, but at this point you might just have to reset, and you want to start with the best, most success. The Batman has been getting nothing but love. Joker,
it's doing really well.
Joker and the Batman both got 10s.
Yeah, Joker is the highest grossing R-rated superhero movie of all time.
Right, it passed Deadpool.
It beat both Deadpools. The
Batman so far is one of the highest rated from critics.
It's doing really well.
It was last time I checked, it was at 89% on Rotten Tomatoes. It was at 10 out of 10 on
84 critic and 95 audience.
This is where you want to start. I would agree if you could restart. Joker passes the torch to Joaquin Phoenix's Joker passes the torch to a younger Joker who becomes the Batman, Robert Pattinson's primary Joker. That's how you start with the new DCEU. Figure out a new Aquaman, probably.
You can do that. Get rid of Amber Heard. Right?
It would take a meeting of at least 20 people in a room, theory crafting, and figure it out. Yeah, and do what video games do. Have part of your crew, part of the people that work for you, be fans. A lot of video games, when they work with balance, they have players.
Right.
They have a player, a different player from each ranking, often are part of the input. What do you think? Bring in a fan or two. What do you think? Actual dedicated fan. Bring in a comic book fan, bring in a movie fan, have them help you out. They don't need a final say, just input. They probably won't even be paid. That's what video game people are. You don't even pay those people. So
give me a t-shirt or a mug.
Let me go to the showing. Let me go to the media showing. That would be my one thing. My payment.
You're answering questions as a professional. Well, when we were in the meetings,
yeah. Well, what's up, Jason? Just Momoa. Anyway, when we were in the meetings,
someone's it's Matt Reeves, and it's Matty boy, what's up?
And he's
talking about.
And Matt Reeves has no idea who you are.
So while we were talking about Batman 2, you mind if I take this one? We were talking about Batman.
You walk in on he's interviewing you, I'll take this one.
I'll take this one, Matt. Yeah, they want you in Studio B over there. Yeah, go ahead, scream.
This is for the big boys. Thank you. And that's why they don't have fans.
Who am I?
Well, that's all we have for DC stuff, except for
Robert Pattinson gets too much hate. Yeah,
one last thing. Yeah, Robert Pattinson, who is the Batman, was shocked at the reaction of
the negative response.
Yeah, because it was only about 70% negative, and he was like, "Wow, A+, that's really nice." And I can't believe, because my question was that all Twilight? Is this all people that hate him still because of Twilight?
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, they need to just get over themselves. He's done plenty more than Twilight. Twilight is like, it's not the worst thing in the world. He did a good job doing what they asked him to do.
Right. Yeah.
There was they had it narrowed down to like 20 different actors, and then they narrowed it down to the final 2 of him and Nicholas Hoult, and then there was like a few other people that were in the runnings, but it was like really the 2 they focused on. We don't know if any of those would be as good as Robert Pattinson. We don't know if maybe Robert Pattinson isn't as good as another one they would have casted. But to jump in, like the fact that he got just a bunch of hate purely for being cast, if you really think that a studio is going to cast somebody bad, then you shouldn't watch any movie by that studio. You shouldn't watch any movie by that director, that casting director, because you don't trust any of their decisions. Absolutely. And I thought that was so ridiculous, because Robert Pattinson's a great actor.
Oh yeah,
he just happened to play a role.
Once the news came out, I was like, oh hell yeah! Like first of all, we're getting another Batman movie. At the end of the day, we're getting another Batman movie. So like, I've said this before, like you can't get mad at actors or actresses for if you think they're bad at their character. Okay, that's what you think, but like we as fans need to like take away the positives from this performance, because like they're playing a person we love. They're playing a role that we love. We said this about Jared Leto's Joker, I believe too. So you got to appreciate what you got. And I'm very excited to see it.
100%. That mentality has helped me with Captain Marvel, being more appreciative of Captain Marvel. I'm gonna have to go into that mentality with Thor: Love and Thunder. I'm going to have to. It's just one of those things that
it's like you don't necessarily want to see Natalie Portman. Sure, like I think we're both in this kind of the same run-in, but like, okay, we're gonna see Valkyrie be a little badass. We're gonna see Gore the God Butcher. Thor might die, which is sad but exciting too.
Right. As long as nothing feels forced, like the A-Force scene. As long as there's nothing like that, like I'm fine with every decision you've made. But as long as nothing feels forced, if nothing feels like you brought it up purely to make people happy. Now, if you bring it up and it feels natural, that's great. But
and I don't necessarily think that the Jane Foster coming into power is forced, because it does happen in the comics. It does happen in the comics. The Mighty Thor, she is the Mighty Thor, and that happens in the comics. How much feminism is going to be shoved on her?
Are you going to have but that doesn't feel forced. But if you have her grab Mjolnir and then grab it like this, where she does like that traditional feminist pose, that's gonna feel forced. It's just that's the guy. I have no issue with Jane Foster, no issue with Natalie Portman being Jane Foster, but if you have her do things that feel forced, then I'm gonna start disliking it. But that's it. That's all we have for DC. And appreciate Robert Pattinson.
Let's just hope Gore kills her.
Yes. Yep. Right after he kills Thor. Yeah. And then Beta Ray Bill comes in.
Yeah, and then Beta Ray Bill comes in, grabs Mjolnir and Stormbreaker, and then kills Gore.
Let's jump into our miscellaneous section. First thing, they're making a live action Beyblade movie.
I can't be more excited than this. Just they go, let her rip. Beyblade.
Right, I just don't know, what are they gonna do?
Let her rip.
Let her rip. Beyblade's popular. It came out around like Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, and tried to compete with those, but it really couldn't. And the show
there was one Beyblade that you had to pay like $200 for that just beat everyone else's Beyblade just because of the makeup of how it was built.
Right, yeah, it was the weight, the angle of the sides, that sort of thing, I'm sure. Beyblades
are all Beyblades created equal?
I definitely had like 3 of them though.
I had Pogs.
I had multiple Beyblades, and eventually too, the little thing that you pull would often break or bend, so it like wouldn't really work as well anymore. You had to have the right arena or space for it.
Yeah.
I
don't know how they're gonna do it.
I don't know what they're gonna do, because I know in the shows like the Beyblades summon things, and like use abilities. So it's probably gonna be something like that. I don't know what they're gonna do.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't think it's gonna be good.
Yeah, me neither.
The other thing, though, that they are remaking from those 90s, early 2000 shows, Digimon. Digimon Adventure is the name of the first season. Digimon Adventure 2 is the name of the second season, so on. They're remaking the first season, Digimon Adventure, and they've cast Ty, who Zeno is going to be he's a voice actor. He's the voice actor for Go in the newest season of Pokemon, of Sword and Shield show, Journeys and Master Journey. He's tremendous. He's a terrific voice actor. Go is actually like one of my most favorite characters since the beginning of Pokemon. He's very good.
Does he age?
Go? He's only been in 1 season, so no. He's 10 with Ash right now.
Okay, Ash is 11 now, I think. So.
but he's the same age as Ash.
Okay.
And yeah, so Xeno will be Ty, and they are remaking it. I think that's awesome. The show that modernizing that first season, and it's supposed to be it's still supposed to be Devimon that finishes with getting defeated by Andromon.
Sure.
So it sounds like it's going to be a pretty faithful remake. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Now let's remake Digimon World, the video game.
Absolutely. If I could make a successful gaming studio and purchase the rights to these games, Gauntlet Legends and Digimon World would probably be the first on my list. And then if I could somehow get the IP for Pokemon, I would make a Pokemon World somehow.
Pokemon World, Digimon World, Gauntlet Legends, NFL Street.
Oh yeah.
Just make new ones of those games. Definitely
that's
Digimon
amazing.
World though.
Yeah, it's up there.
You pitched it. What, Digimon World Evolutions Andromon? Is that what you said?
Maybe.
I can't. You tweeted it at me when I said we need to remake Digimon World.
Yeah.
It's so, and there's so many good ones. Like Digimon, the second season, they added a whole new form of Digi-evolution, and then as the seasons go on, they add different forms. Like the kids themselves turn into the Digimon.
Yeah.
Like that. I would love if they made a Digimon World game that was that in depth and advanced. It'd be so good.
My favorite part was just like beating the named one, the off named ones that would like you just have to fight. But then when you found a named one, you're like, oh my god, like this is, if I beat this or if I do finish this challenge or whatever, like they're gonna come join my city. Like that was the coolest part. Yeah. Because then you could get back to your city and you'd be like, what new thing do I get to do now?
That game was really so good.
Yeah, it was
so good. And you could, replayability was high. It was so good, man. And for an old game, that was...
And it hurt when one of your things randomly would die. You'd be like, is it Digivolving or is it dying?
And it would die. Or turn into one of the poop monsters. It would turn into one of the poop Digimon. Be like, what did I do wrong?
It was good that you got some poop monsters because you just run around and have them eat all the shit. Like,
yeah.
Your guys did. Oh, I pushed my one too hard and it pooped in the waterfall. Now I got to go eat this. And the
Still a good game. Still a good game. Let's continue though. That was good. We want that remade, so please do. But so I haven't watched American Idol in a long time. I watched a viral video on Twitter that was going around. It was a TikTok, but it made its way to Twitter, and it was this kid singing. It seemed like he was messing around kind of, but showing off his singing talents in like a band room. Super talented. I was like, oh my god, this is ridiculous. Yeah. And the first comment was somebody saying, by the way, this is a guy named Tyler Allen who is on the new season of American Idol. So I watched his audition tape. He's it was very touching, very sad. His 2-year-old nephew died. He sang the song. His audition song was a song he sang to his nephew. Super sad, but the talent, it was a Whitney Houston song and he nailed it. Just so controlled that the way I described it was like otherworldly. He sang possessed. Like you felt if you closed your eyes, you felt like you were just in a room with him and you were
me and my girlfriend just watched it. Like, we just watched it. We watch American Idol every year, and this is kind of fun. When I used to live with my mom, I used to live at home with my mom, and my buddy Mike used to live there too. We waited till it was the top 12, and we watched all these auditions. It was me, my mom, and Mike, and we all sat down. We watched these audition tapes. We kind of like figured out who we wanted, like who we liked, and then when it got down to the top 12, we did a snake draft. Yeah, we did a snake draft, and we drafted the people we thought we that would win. So
my uncle used to do that with Survivor.
We did that that first year. Me and Taylor did it last year. Taylor had the winning person on her team. So now I get the number 1 pick this year. But in that one back in the day, Mike won. So they had 12 contestants, and he got the very last person. The very last person in the out of the 12 was the winner.
Yeah, I think that sort of thing is fun. My uncle used to do that with Survivor, and then they'd cut out a picture of each one of the contestants, and as they got sent home, they'd take them off the fridge, and then who was ever left, they left the picture up, and then they were like, oh, you win, and I think they won money, like $100. But yeah, I hope Tyler Allen wins because I haven't seen anything else.
Yeah, sure. No, I mean, when we're done with this, check out Cole Cole Hallman.
Cole Holman. I'll check that out.
Holman.
Well, the next thing, Beetlejuice 2. It is officially in the works.
Yeah.
I showed my wife Beetlejuice a couple years ago. She had never seen it before.
Yeah.
Loved it. She
Yeah.
absolutely. It was
Great, yeah.
not every show and movie I've shown her that I thought she'd like has ever like. Not everyone's been a hit. Sometimes she's like, "I'm glad you like that." like thanks.
Sucker Punch. This is horseshit. What is
She's
this?
not a big fan of Sucker Punch. She thinks the story and the writing is good. She doesn't like the unnecessary sexiness. She does like the rest of the
Yeah,
stuff.
me neither.
She does think the movie is good though. But yeah, Beetlejuice 2 coming out. It sounds like Michael Keaton will be coming back as Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
I'm excited
he's
for
the hot commodity right now.
Yeah, well, he should be. He's
Yeah.
ever since he was started acting, he's been amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
my favorite Christmas movie, Jack Frost, is Michael Keaton's in it.
Sure.
It's just he's good. Everything he does, he's good. I mean, that's a family movie where all it is his voice. Really amazing. But yeah, what I'm excited to see is the CGI or whatever. If they end up going outside and trying to go to the real world and then seeing like that wasteland that they see and seeing like the giant worm monsters.
Yeah.
I would love to see how they portray that with modern technology, or if they try to stick with the old. Because if Michael Keaton if he's going to be crazy, over the top, maybe a little like too far, if they stick with that, they could kind of stick with older graphics and people would be fine with that.
Right. Yeah, I'm curious to see what the humor's like.
Yeah,
If it's more modern too.
because his humor back then, he
Yeah.
made sexual harassment comments.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Let's go.
I'd be interested to see like will because
Will
they
he
let
get
because Michael
canceled?
Keaton apparently scared a lot of people on set. Give him free reign again. Let him be crazy again.
Absolutely.
I don't care whatever. Maybe shoot the same scene multiple times. Let him do some things. You can decide if some are okay to say, and if not, take the best scenes that toe the line the most.
Yeah.
Because you could make Beetlejuice
All the ones
2,
that are like, should we do this? Like, do it.
yeah. If if you question it, do it. Otherwise, the ones that you know you shouldn't, you'll know.
Yeah, it's like Feige with Moon Knight. He's like, should we cut this out? It's pretty brutal. And he's like, no, this is Moon Knight. This is...
Yeah, you have to. I want to hear some jokes that I want to hear somebody in the audience go, oh. Well,
Yeah.
some people laugh in the theater. I want other people to be like, oh.
Yeah, while we laugh in the theater, other people are like, oh my
I'll
God.
laugh at them all. I'm a horrible person. I'll laugh at them all.
Yeah. If I don't mouth WTF to myself like multiple times,
Then it's not Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Then it's not Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
or
I'm
if
really
I don't go, oh no, like
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Yeah. You need that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I need that. I need it. By the way, our last two things in our miscellaneous section. First thing, I'm a huge Pokemon fan. Most people might not know that. You know, I'm a very, very big Pokemon fan. Have been whole life. Gen 9. Pokemon Scarlet, Pokemon Violet was just announced. It'll be Gen 9. They gave the first 3 starters. That's Quaxley, Sprigatito, and Fuecoco. It's going to be in Spain. If you couldn't tell by the names, it's going to be like a Spain-based region. People are originally thinking Italy. Sounds like it might have some things with Italy, but it'll be mainly a Spanish game. And it looks really bright, really colorful. The new textures. It's going to be open world. Yeah, it looks so good. The initial responses of people looking at them. Have you seen the starters?
No.
Okay, the duck, people are like, it looks like Donald Duck. He's going to evolve into Donald Duck. Disney's officially going to Pokemon. Fuecoco seems to be the fan favorite. Looks like I called him Fire Chonk just because he looks just like his little chonk. Fuecoco in Spanish means like fire with an extra syllable. It'd be
A
like
little dinosaur or what?
right. That's the thing is people are thinking it might be a fire dragon.
We already have one of those.
We do, and every Zodiac, every fire starter has been a member of the Chinese Zodiac so far. They all been a different member, so people are like, I don't know. However, I saw one theory that was why he's going to turn into a fire ghost, which is the ghost pepper, because he looks like he's like a little plant.
Yeah, he's got a little sprout on his head.
Yeah, he looks like he might be a pepper, and then there was something to do with what, a pepper?
Oh no, he's a pepper.
Yeah, he looks like he might be like a pepper alligator, like a pepper gator. But yeah, and then there was like there was some other part of it, but that I thought it was pretty convincing that he might be a fire ghost type. We don't know. Everything is speculation, but it's all really cool and really fun because it could be anything at this point. I wasn't expecting. I even said the day before, I don't expect Gen 9 to be revealed, and of course they went through the whole thing and didn't reveal it, and I was like, yeah. I knew it. And then all of a sudden they're like, we got one last thing to show you, and it was a cinematic or like thing, and it was revealing Gen 9. I was like, no way.
Nice.
It's so cool. I'm excited for it. It's gonna be good. Last thing, White Men Can't Jump. Not White Men Can't Jump 2. This is just gonna be a remake.
Yeah, I think they're gonna remake it. Jack Harlow, who is a basketball player himself,
Rapper.
he's a star in it. Yeah, rapper. Yeah, what's poppin'? I don't know what to expect. He's probably gonna be playing the character Woody Harrelson played.
Yeah. What is the singer? Is it Saweetie? It is with Saweetie. Okay. Have you ever seen that clip of him with Saweetie?
No.
That's one of my favorite clips I have like ever seen. It's smooth. She's in the middle of an interview. It's like on a red carpet, and he comes up and shakes her hand. He goes, "Hi, how you doing? I'm Jack Harlow." And she goes, "I know." And then he says something I can't hear. And then she goes, "Why are you shaking?" And he's like, "What are you talking about? I'm not shaking." He like he flips her hand over, and he puts his other hand. He's like, "There's no shaking here." And he's just so smooth. And he's like never breaking eye contact with her until the point where she looks like she's broke. Like she looks nervous with him now. And I was just like, dude, if you didn't get a number, at least you didn't get to go out for drinks at some point, like I'm disappointed, because that was if I was Saweetie there, I would have given him my number 100%.
Save some for the rest of us, man.
Dude, I don't know if that's how he is around women all the time, but he was cool, calm, collected. He was smooth, and his Hot Ones interview is one of my favorite. I didn't really know much about him, and then over the past like year or two, I've kind of like looked more into him, and he's pretty cool guy. I like him a lot. But yeah, I think he's a great casting for White Man Can't Jump. I wasn't going to talk about it because I wasn't sure if it really fit, but it's our miscellaneous section, so we can talk about anything. And yeah, I like Jack Harlow a lot. He's grown on me. I didn't really know him, and now it's like, this guy's pretty sick. But that video of him and Saweetie is still one of my favorite videos online. It's, if you haven't seen it, it's like a minute. It's so good. I just love how she looks like she's trying to mess with him, and then he just completely flips it, and all of a sudden she looks like she's like, "Oh, I'm a little nervous."
He's making me sweaty.
Like definitely was and if I was the interviewer, because the one who was talking to her, I'd just be like, "This is gold." Just nailed it. It's so dumb. But yeah, that's all we got. That's our whole podcast this week. We will see you all next week. If you like sports, check out the sports section. Otherwise, we're here every week for you. This was episode 37. See you in 38. You all look great today. GG.